The cool thing about getting a personal loan from PNC is that they are very flexible. Their customer service is just fantastic. And on top of that, they're very generous in terms of the amount of money they can actually lend you. Okay, it's not really it's not really like something really big, but it's still something. $35,000. That's the maximum. It's just fantastic. So here are the steps I really want you to follow if you're trying to get a personal loan from a PNC. One thing you need to understand here is that PNC Bank, they actually offered they offer unsecured fixed rate personal loans between $1,000 and $35,000 with APRs that really start around 7%. Now, depending on your zip code, because PNC is they're not a major national bank, they're like a mid-tier bank, but they are in several zip codes, and the APR and the loan amounts and all the loan conditions vary by the zip code. Okay. And the thing is, I said they offer unsecured personal loans, but also offer secure loans. So if you want to collateralize the loan, not a problem. They will work with you. You can apply online or in person at one of, I think they have about 25 to 3,000 locations. It's just crazy, but it is what it is. And the good thing is that PNC, when you are in their geography, you really have a flexibility. You have a lot of opportunities to actually go to a branch. But you got to be in the state where PNC is located. You know, that's the thing. And one thing I want to say here is that don't forget that your ultimate APR will be based on your creditworthiness as well as your geography. Here are the pros and cons when it comes to PNC personal loans. The pros. So the bank actually offers very competitive APRs. I mean, really, it's just fantastic. Okay. And they do not charge application or origination fees, something that other players in their category do sometimes. And the good thing is that PNC does allow you to actually apply with a co-borrower. So this is really good if you're trying to spread the risk. If you're trying to boost your loan approval odds, then you can actually apply with a co-borrower. Not a problem. PNC will actually they will acknowledge that it's not a problem. What about the cons? Well, they do charge a late payment fee. The maximum amount you can borrow is low compared to other lenders. That's true. And they do provide limited information on their website in terms of loan transparency. The loan transparency, this is something that PNC has to work on. Let me give you a few pro tips to kind of help you get a better situation when it comes to this PNC loans. And I mean, if you are, let's say, who PNC Bank is really great for when it comes to personal loans? Well, if you need a small loan amount, because think about it, the minimum loan amount, $1,000 all the way to $35,000. Okay. And because there are some lenders out there, they will not lend to you if you're looking for $1,000. They want you to start at $2,000 or $5,000. So PNC is really flexible with that. Okay. And if you want to apply with a co-borrower, PNC is great for you because you are basically, as I said before, if you have a co-borrower and if that co-borrower happens to have a higher credit score, you can actually lend a better rate. And if you are, PNC Bank personal loans are also great for you if you have an existing relationship with the bank. One thing we have found in our research for the last 20 years is that PNC Bank, they tend to actually reward their preferred customers, their loyal customers. So if you have been with PNC for a while, they'll actually get you the lowest rates. In addition to that, they also offer a 0.25 interest rate discount if you set up autopay on your loan via your PNC checking account. So this is really great. So you have different ways to lower your ultimate cost, your ultimate loan cost. And so who PNC Bank is in really right for? Well, if you need a larger loan than $35,000, so PNC is not for you because they only set their limit at 35. Okay. And so this is something that could be a problem. And even the 35,000, guess what? That 35 it's even lower in some states. It's kind of crazy, but it is what it is. Let me give you an example. Residents of California can only take out up to $10,000. Okay. And we're speaking about $10,000, but there are other lenders out there that allow you to borrow up to $100,000. Okay. 10 times that much. 10 times as much. So PNC Bank personal loans might not be the right fit for you if you can get a better rate elsewhere. If you want to avoid, let's say, late fees and if you need to pay for college or refinance student loans. So yeah, I mean, PNC is great, but they do have limitations also, as everybody else, I guess, as every other institution. Let me sort of clarify for you the approach you need to have if you really want to get a personal loan with PNC. One thing you need to understand here is that, I mean, when you actually analyze their loan terms, they are very flexible, and we love their generosity in terms of loan terms. So you can select repayment terms between 12 and 60 months, depending on how much you borrow. So you're looking at 1 year to 5 years. It is really good. I mean, it is what it is. But again, even the repayment term, as well as the loan amount, as well as the APR, all those are they really depend on the geography. So the zip code is really important. Okay, and one thing I need to say here is that the PNC Bank will charge you 10% of the payment amount of $40, whichever is greater, for payments that are more than 15 days late. So when you have a loan with PNC, you never want to have a late payment. I mean, for any lender for that matter, not just PNC, but I mean, PNC is really one of those banks that really makes things a lot easier for you. So please just set up your checking accounts and make sure that your payments comes out of your checking accounts automatically. Okay, and just set up the account. You just set up your loan payments from an account where you get your direct deposit. That way, you know there'll be always money in the account. Okay, but in addition to what I just said, you have other perks and features that you have with PNC personal loan. For example, you have online pre-qualification, so you can actually check your rates on PNC Bank's website with a soft credit check that will not affect your credit. So we really love that, because not a lot of big banks, have this sort of pre-qual feature. I mean, we know that the Bank of America and Citi, not Citi, and Chase are no longer offering personal loans. Okay, they're like, you know what, we're out of here. But PNC is like, no, we love it, and so this is really cool. So you can have a pre-qual, and if you decide to submit a full application, PNC Bank will run a hard credit inquiry, which could actually temporarily knock a few points off your credit score. And PNC also has something else that we love a lot on this show, which is hardship assistance programs that allow you to actually find help from PNC if you are experiencing financial hardship. So this is really cool. Let me first give you an overview of the situation if you're thinking about qualifying for a PNC personal loan. And I mean, the cool thing is, first of all, if you want to start with PNC, remember that PNC actually loves to have PNC values a relationship a lot. So everything starts from there. Okay. I'm not saying you cannot qualify for a PNC loan if you don't have an existing relationship with them. You could, but it's a lot easier, and your chances of loan approval are higher if you have an existing relationship with PNC. So, and hopefully that relationship is not perfect, but it's great, so that you can parlay that relationship into something else when it comes to taking out loans. Okay. Now, when PNC doesn't really they don't publicly talk about their FICO score requirements for personal loans, but we know, because we have clients on behalf of whom we have applied for several PNC personal and business loans. So they usually will start looking at your application with interest. Well, if you have minimum 600 when it comes to FICO minimum, okay, and in terms of income, if you have about $18,000, they'll start looking at you. So $18,000, that's gross income. So that actually equates to what? Equates to $1,500 gross income per month. So if you're making, and again, we're speaking about minimums here, okay? I'm not asking you to say, oh yeah, no, if I'm making 15 grand, no, not 15 grand. If I'm making $1,500, I'm good to go. No, that's the minimum. And again, when we talk about when PNC analyzes your income, they do so in relationship with the loan amount you want to apply for. Okay. And but PNC allows you to have co-signers and co-applicants, not a problem. So you're able to actually, you are more likely to get approved for a loan, for a personal loan real fast if you're able to have somebody actually vouching for you, so to speak. Okay, I mean, especially if you have bad credit or you have less than stellar credit in general. Less than stellar credit being here what? Being fair credit and bad credit. So anything below 579 or anything below 650 can be considered less than stellar sometimes. So be very clear about that. Here is a bonus for you. If you have made it so far, I really want to congratulate you and thank you for your loyalty. This is really important. And one thing you need to do here is if you are trying to apply for a PNC bank personal loan, and for those of you who have been listening to us for a long time, you know that we actually we advise on this show to always apply for personal loans on like at the branch. So if you were to apply for a PNC personal loan, we would advise you to go to a PNC to the nearest PNC branch and apply it there. Now, if you telling me like, I'm just so busy, I have no time, whatever, then you can apply for this loan online. Not a problem. You go to PNC websites. Okay, they have all the info there, and you can actually check your rates. So you can start by pre-qualifying online with no impact on your credit score. And they'll just ask you for a few pieces of info. They'll ask you for your personal details, such as your name, address, and phone number. And you also need to indicate your income, multiple housing payments, and social security number. And you need to create a password for your account also. So those are things you have to really think about. And then after you do this, you have to review your offers, because what happens here is that once you do a soft pull, PNC's algorithm will, based on the type of info that you actually entered or you inputted, okay, they will give you some kind of output. So you will know exactly what you can qualify for. So the bank will instantly they will show you pre-qualification offers if you meet its lending criteria. So you can review your options to see if any any of those options appeals to you. And now one thing I need to say here is that a pre-qualified rate is not guaranteed. So PNC Bank will need to run a hard credit inquiry before providing a final loan offer. And one thing I also need to say here is that once you actually go through everything, you can submit a full application, okay? And I mean, when it comes to income, the PNC is kind of flexible too. They might ask you for things like pay stubs or bank statements, a consent to a hard credit check, okay? And they might also ask you to provide things like your W-2 and 1099. In some cases, your tax returns. But yeah, so once you do this, wait for approval and receive your loan funds. They'll review your application and they'll make their final decision, typically within 48 hours. Here is a winner strategy for you. The thing is that we need to understand that PNC is a great bank when it comes to customer service, okay? And basically, they have had problems in the past, let's say in the last 5 years, in the last 15 years, but they started really cleaning up their SHIT, really, in the last 5 years. Okay, they're doing a lot. They've been doing a lot of stuff, and nowadays their customer service really is a great one, okay? You're able to get, like when you call, they pick up the phone, like the wait time is not really that long, and this is really good. So you're able to actually get back to your business real fast. So we love that a lot. And one thing you need to understand here is that if you actually go on Trustpilot and Better Business Bureau, their reviews, their customer reviews on those websites really skew largely negative. Okay. However, as I said, we have been dealing with them personally. We have been dealing with them at the business level. So our team knows them. Our team really knows how they roll, so to speak. They're really fast, especially if you are asking questions and like you need to get your loan approved real fast. 48 hours. Yeah. They're still a big bank though. Don't get me wrong. A big banks take like forever to approve loans. Everybody knows that, right? That's why people flock to those online lenders. They flock to those alternative lenders, those payday lenders. But 2 days for a big bank, that's really good. Okay, and you have to understand that. And sometimes when you go on sites such as Trustpilot or Triple B, you have negative reviews. sometimes it's not just about the loan itself. PNC Bank personal loans. It's just about the overall banking experience, okay, that people are kind of pissed about. So this is something I wanted to explain here, that the winner strategy here is to take advantage of PNC's bank and their expertise. So that's why you want to apply for a loan at the personal branch. Let's just make a decision here, and I just want to really bring this conversation to an end here. How do you decide? How does PNC Bank personal loans stack up? So let's first look at PNC Bank versus SoFi. So while you have with PNC, right, you have the limit, the maximum limit, the maximum loan amount is $35,000. SoFi, for example, they let you borrow up to $100,000. Think about that. That's just kind of crazy, crazy high, but it is what it is. SoFi is very, very generous. And the SoFi also offers APR starting around 7%, and they'll let you apply with the co-applicants. So if you're looking to apply, let's say you are looking to pay for a large project or expense, SoFi might be a preferable option to PNC Bank due to its significantly larger loan limits. What about PNC Bank versus Avon? So Avon has the same borrowing limit as PNC Bank with a maximum amount of $35,000. However, you must take out at least $2,000 with Avon, twice as much as the maximum amount with PNC. And Avon rates also start higher, around 9% than PNC Banks. Now, Avon doesn't have a business checking accounts. And the thing is that, they don't ask you to be as loyal to them as the PNC wants you to be loyal to them. Again, you kind of have a level of, I think the degree is kind of different here. The degree of commitment. Okay. Avon is a fintech. I mean, like 20 years ago, they were not around. I mean, they've just been around in the last few years, and who knows where they will be like 5 years from now. But we know that PNC has been here for a long time, for forever. I'm tempted to say, but it's not ever. But you know what I mean. And what about PNC Bank versus Upgrade? And Upgrade is another fintech. So SoFi is a fintech. Upgrade is a fintech. Okay, so like PNC Bank, Upgrades lets you borrow as little as $1,000, but it offers large loan amounts up to $150,000. Okay, and so this lender, I'm talking here about Upgrade, has a relatively low credit score requirement of 580, and they'll let you check your rates online with a soft credit check. And it could be worth checking your rates with both PNC Bank and Upgrade, as well as other lenders that let you pre-qualify online, and to kind of see which offers you would be more suitable to your situation, and which lender offers you the better rates. So those are things that I want you to think about, so you have a clear idea of what to decide. Should you think about deciding? Very important. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.